Before this whole Pence Farm thing happened, I was a teacher. Taught kindergarten, first grade, TK.
I was a beekeeper for 7 years. Beekeeping kind of flopped during the pandemic, and so I started working construction full-time.
When we moved to the hill, we had an opportunity to pretty much live here and trade for work.
And we were both kind of looking for a change of pace.
Our whole mindset changed. So we were just thinking about, like, how do we want to raise our kids? What kind of lifestyle do we want to have? And he had family property up here. That's when the hill became like our reality, and we just jumped in full force and made the move.
It was a process. When we first got up here, there was a lot of debris from all those ponderosa pines dying from bark beetle. We turned a lot of those trees that we had lying around into our first garden beds because we didn't really have any other resources.
I wanted a garden. Jim made it happen with what we had. Everything from the property to build our first garden, which now looking back on it, it was like pretty hard then, but we're pretty proud of it now. He was gone 12 hours a day, and I was on this hill alone. So
it was something I never really envisioned until Sonny made that whole thing come together to make this place an actual legit farm. So that's where the whole name Pence Farm comes from. It was built off of our struggle and our hardship.
we were having fun. We were young. We had an opportunity to build something. We just had no idea how to do it. It just all happened pretty organically because we were just trying to feed our kid.
And ourselves, just trying to eat right and live this healthier lifestyle.
We're also kind of broke, so cheaper to grow your own food, cheaper to raise your own food if you're gonna eat healthy, because we couldn't afford to go buy organic food, but we wanted that type of food for ourselves and our kids. I went overboard. All right, we need plants, for ourselves to feed ourselves. I probably only needed 3 squash plants, but we ended up with 70. Probably only needed, a couple of tomato plants, but we ended up with 100. And so I was like, we gotta do something with all this food. We started selling it. I mean, what else do? You sell it, you give it away. We were giving it away and selling it. People supported us, they liked us. We ended up permitting the property as an actual farm at that point. So then people wanted eggs. So I figured out the whole permitting system around chickens and eggs, and it just snowballed so quickly, so fast.
And so that first farmer's market we got into in Groveland, we were the only farm stand there, and then Sonny made a loaf of sourdough for us to snack on at the market. One of our customers wanted to buy one of the loaves of sourdough.
And so we were like, all right, yeah, sure. And the loaf she was talking about, we cut it in half. We were already eating part of it. And she's like, oh, that's fine. She just gave us some money. We sold it to her. She came back the next week and she had a friend with her. They didn't even care about the tomatoes anymore. They were like, we want that sourdough. And at this point, our sourdough was terrible.
It was a hockey puck.
It was super hard. She really supported us. She would even come and at the end of the market, if we had anything left over, she'd just buy it out to fund us experimenting.
We started selling more bread primarily at that farmer's market. We were making more money than we would have if we sold all our tomatoes or all our squash.
Yeah.
And that kind of lit a spark, and that's really where things started turning in another direction.
I roped Jim into the baking side of things. So he'd come home from work and he'd be a dad, and he soon was a baker. Now at our bakery, he does the majority of the mixing, the baking, and I do majority of the paperwork and managing all aspects of our business.
We decided we need a better place to sell it. And then so Sonny got in contact with the Sonora farmer's market. That's a big market, it was a big deal. We were scared. It jumped up to 75 loaves every Saturday, which was nuts because that's a lot of bread. That first Sonora farmer's market was pretty incredible. Again, with the community and Tuolumne County's feedback, people loved it. That's when our bread actually started turning out a lot better, and we started getting a little more creative with our flavors. It was terrifying, but it was also that driving force that helped push us to make more bread, to make more money to supply for our family. Yeah, Sonny sent me a text in front of what is Pence Farm Sourdough now. And she's like, hey, I'm gonna rent this building. And she's smiling, and then the for rent sign is behind her. And I'm like, what? I was like, that is insane. Bakery on Washington Street? I thought it was bananas. I was like, this is not gonna work. You're crazy, And she's like, no, it'll work. And I'm like, whatever, let's go. We rented this spot. I walked in and I was like, oh my God, this is not gonna work at all. This place is a mess. We flipped that location in 27 days, and we opened day 28. It was all in at that point.
We don't have heavy machinery. Jim does most of the heavy lifting and mixing with his arms and hands, and I do most of the shaping by hand.
We've always wanted to incorporate most of what we can off of our farm into our loaves of bread, and I think people really can taste the difference.
It's the first year that we're actually have enough produce to be making all of our sandwiches with tomatoes from the farm, making toast with the honey Jim's extracting. Now the farm is also growing organically.
I mean, we're not doing anything crazy or different, you know? We're just giving it our all, and but it was always that positive feedback that I think really like gave us the confidence to keep pushing forward.
We got to make this farm and this bread collide, and that's our niche.